So some interesting results at the weekend. First of all, the 12:30 kickoff, Burnley against Chelsea. I think I went 3-1 Chelsea for this. I think you went 3-1 as well, Mark. Ended up being 2-0 to Chelsea. Fairly simple in the end for them, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, like I watched the game, and Burnley was giving Chelsea a lot of problems until Chelsea scored. Once Chelsea scored, it was very much the same thing, like Chelsea just being a better team. Burnley has some good opportunities though in the game. I mean, the goals they scored, Pedro Neto and Enzo Fernandez. I mean, the win now put them 6 points after Arsenal's win, 6 points away from Arsenal. Like at the time, there was 3 points, but I think Burnley's third straight league game. Like defeat for the Premier League. I think it might be all competition, but I think it's 3 in a row now of the Premier League. Not looking good for them at the moment, but see what happens come start the end of the season, I suppose.
No, and I mean, if they obviously their home form is probably where they kind of need to ensure that they're getting something out of the games, but I think Chelsea are just too strong for them at the end of the day.
It's tough ask to do something against Chelsea, yeah.
The levels are quite vast, and they do need, when you create chances against Chelsea, to be able to, take them, capitalise on them. Otherwise, you're just going to get punished. So, yeah, Chelsea went second with that. Bournemouth against West Ham ended up being 2-2. I think we both went Bournemouth wins here. I was quite convinced that they were going to beat West Ham quite easily, because I still consider West Ham to have one of the worst defences in the Premier League, if not the worst. But it ended up being 2-2. I mean, West Ham were 2-0 up at one point, so Bournemouth done well to come back. But
the thing is, it was 2 goals from their former striker as well, wasn't it, Callum Wilson? So I think that hurts Bournemouth fans a bit there that he come back there. I mean, being 2-0 up, West Ham, I think you're right about having a bad defence, because they couldn't even finish the game being 2-0 up. And they always say 2-0's a hard score to keep hold of. But, if you're going 2-0 up and you're doing well, playing well, then they should have punished them. The thing is, with Callum Wilson's goals, I don't know if you saw them, both of them were taken on chest, turn, and then hit on the half volley. Like, both times. I mean, the other one was in the box, but still, he did near enough the same type of goal. Like, straight ball over the top, on the chest, and then the half volley. And Bournemouth's first goal, I don't know what Max Kilman was thinking. Like, he slid in out nowhere and decided to then punch the ball away from the attacker's foot. As you do. When the keeper was near enough right behind him, he would have just smothered the ball. So I don't know what he was thinking of at that time. And I still can't believe he didn't even get a yellow card for that. Lucky to even stay on the pitch for saying stupid as that, but he didn't even get a yellow card, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a weird one.
Yes. Well, I think West Ham at the end of the day were lucky to get a point, really, because Bournemouth were sort of all over them after those goals went in for West Ham. And it's lucky they got those goals when they did, West Ham, because otherwise we would have been looking at 1-2-0, 3-0 win for Bournemouth probably, because they certainly turned it on when they needed to get back in the game. Next game was Brighton against Brentford. I think I went 2-0 Brighton for this. Fairly confident they was going to win, I think. And
I went Brentford all day long.
You went Brentford all day long. Can't think why. But Brighton are sort of like in that sort of top 6 at the moment. Top 7. I think they went a goal down, managed to pull it back. Danny Welbeck scored again, didn't he?
Yeah. Good goal as well, to be honest. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I think he, doing all the right things. Too much to say. I guess they probably would have said that Brighton were probably the better team after the goal went in. But they're just sort of like plodding along. People aren't taking too much notice of them.
No, they got lucky though, because was it 94th minute chance to equalise from Thiago, sorry, and he already scored a penalty in that match anyway. Like, it made him 1-0 up, and then he had the chance to score another penalty, and then keeper saved it. So completely lost points for Brentford there.
Thiago's doing well for them though, isn't he? He's, they bought him 2 years ago, didn't they? He got injured for 12 months, pretty much.
He was injured for most of the last year, wasn't
he? He seems to be worth the money they paid for him. It's coming obviously a year later.
Yeah.
Next was Fulham Sunderland. ended up being a Fulham win. We both went Sunderland wins. We didn't think Fulham were going to score at all. I think mine was 2-0 and yours was 1-0 to Sunderland,
1-0.
but Fulham ended up pulling it out the bag and beating a team that everyone's really been surprised with this year. It was quite close from what I remember, and the goal, was a fairly standard Fulham goal. They held off Sunderland and then they managed to capitalise on their chance.
So it's a good ball in from Chukwueze. Him and as every striker should do, should be finishing in the box, and he did, to be honest. But it's all about the ball. The ball into the box. That was absolutely fantastic ball in. Other than what I saw from the highlights of that match, there was a lot of chances. I think they changed when they brought on Smith Rowe, and Smith, they seem to be a bit more potent going forward, and otherwise, I think I'm a bit surprised by the result as well. I think a lot of people was probably banking on Sunderland to do something in that game, but they just couldn't break down Fulham. They did really well. Bit of a scrap after the game for some reason as well. Don't know why.
Sunderland obviously came off of that back of that Arsenal result, but they just couldn't do anything with that in their next game, and needed some points, needed 3 points. They've picked it up against a team that, if you're a Fulham fan, you'd be going, that's 3 points that we need to pick it up against.
Yeah.
So, they've done a good job in the end. Probably most surprising result of the whole weekend. I don't know if I'm too surprised from the fact that Liverpool lost. Going a bit safe with my predictions, I kind of felt like Liverpool had to respond if they wanted to do anything going forward. At the point the game kicked off, they were, ninth in the league, were they? And on 18 points. If they'd won, they would have got 21 points. They would have been back in the top 4. It would have all been okay. But Sean Dyche has absolutely turned the Nottingham Forest team into a load of monsters and ran Liverpool ragged, pretty much.
Yeah.
3-0 in the end.
They're unbeaten in 4 now, aren't they, Forest? Because of that win, got them out of the relegation zone. So,
and that's what he was born to do.
Something. Exactly. He's actually doing something, Thing is, with Liverpool now, that's their 6th loss already this season now. That's a lot for a team that's just won the Premier League and then wants to win it again. That's 2 more than their whole last season as well. Yeah. They won the league, 4 losses only. They've got 6 now. It's not even halfway in the season.
I think that's a lot of losses for a team that bought Wirtz, that spent way too long trying to get an unfit Isak.
Yeah.
That's bought a Ekitike. There's 3 players there that cost them a substantial amount of money to come into the team because they've already gone and won the league in Germany, for example, with Wirtz. Or they are an established Premier League player like Isak. And, Isak started, I thought he would start purely because of the situation Liverpool were in, but they're just not scoring goals.
Yeah.
And Liverpool are at their best when they score goals and they, strangle the opposition. So there's so much pressure, so many chances that are getting created that the opposition find it very difficult to get out to create chances of their own. But that has stopped. That's just complete. That's stopped there. Yeah.
But that's the thing, because before half time, in that game, Forest had a goal disallowed as well. So they could have went in 2-0, but VAR overturned it because it hit the guy's arm, which is one of them ones where it was on the sleeve, and it's just make the rule where it's if it's below the damn shoulder, shoulder level, anything lower than that, that's handball, because it's just the sleeve situation just is a load of rubbish, because it gets changed every week. Who knows what it is? But then, lucky for them, they came out in the second half and scored near enough straight away. So it could have been a lot worse for Liverpool. It could have been 4-0 at home as well. Would have been probably one of their worst defeats at home for a long time, I would say.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think I wasn't surprised by the result. I was more surprised by the fact they didn't respond to what happened to them at Man City, against Man City, because that's what good teams do, is they respond to the previous results. And they've not done that, and got to put some doubt in Liverpool fans' head around Arne Slot being the right person.
Yeah,
whether his coaching team is the right people. because there's waiting it out, and then there's just then doing a Leicester and not
Yeah,
defending your Premier League at all, and
yeah.
not even putting up a fight.
That's probably the last time that
So,
kind of thing had happened, wasn't it? The Leicester team. Next year, after winning the league, they just couldn't do it, and they end up
no,
getting rid of Ranieri. I think it happened with Blackburn as well. We're talking, that's about 95, 96. I think they won it in 95, I think it was. So, and like, surely after that result of the weekend, there must have been some stern talks, like, with Liverpool and the board, either, like, whether or not Arne Slot keeps his job or how many games they're going to give him. Because you spend all that money and you're not producing. Like I said, they could have won that game, got to top four, but at the same time, you're still 12th in the league now. It's not a good look for a team like Liverpool, even being 12th in the league.
When you look at, I mean, I know that they're a rich club, Liverpool, but when you look at the money that they've spent this season, similarly to what Arsenal done with Declan Rice, now they go to themselves, well, if we get in the Champions League, we get this X amount of money. It's an investment. These 3 players are an investment because we're going to regain it back by getting this far in this competition. Definitely. We're definitely going to get the Champions League. Nothing's written, obviously, but nothing's confirmed. But there's an expectation that's going to happen, right? And if that doesn't happen, then there's no money to subsidise the investments that they've done this year. So, they're getting in the Champions League is a lot of money to a club like Liverpool, regardless of how much money they've already got.
Massive.
So you have to look at the fact at some point, maybe this weekend, who knows what happens. But at some point, there's got to be pressure. I mean, a lot of other managers would have. I mean, if Arne Slot didn't win the league last year, I think he would have got sacked already.
Definitely, I think, yeah.
Because they would have been looking at it going, well, we're not going to win the league this year. That would have been 2 years. But because he won it last year, I think he's got a safety net. But I don't know how big that safety net is, how long it will last for.
It's a cutthroat business, though, because you got to think. I think a lot of people thought Ange would have kept his job at Tottenham after winning Europa League, because Tottenham hadn't won the trophy in however many years it was, and that was it. As soon as the season, it basically ended a couple of weeks later, wasn't it? Or like a couple of months later, or whatever it was, he'd been given the boot. And I know the Premier League's a different monster. Like, that's the end game for a lot of clubs in England. Like, it's not just the Champions League, it's the Premier League. Like, the safety net, how much longer can it last until they decide there must be someone else out there that can do it,
Well, yeah, and there's only so many windows for managers being on the market and that. So at what point is somebody going to be more valuable to Liverpool that they do give up Arne Slot and go, long term, this other person might be better for us? Or
we also think now as well, January's coming around. Do you want to change your manager before January to bring his own style of players in, or do you get Arne Slot to spend another £400 million in January to try and fix the trouble? You know what I mean? Though it's that, like, did you trust him with a load more money to spend on players that clearly he couldn't pick in the first place, that don't work his system, or do you change it to bring in someone that can use the players he's got as well as bring in the players he wants to get?
Yeah,
like, that's the thing now.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of finding out who that person is, though. Would they go back for Klopp? That's the question.
Right. I mean, that's like going, I don't know. You can't go backwards.
Palace has done it twice with Hodgson, so
they didn't go to. It didn't go back to Alex Ferguson after David Moyes got sacked. So
I think they was tempted, though. And they're probably still tempted at the moment as well.
The next game was Wolves, Rob Edwards' first game against Crystal Palace, who are now above Brighton, or still above Brighton.
Fifth in the league.
Which I've got to mention. It's just going along nicely. Crystal Palace, isn't it, at the moment?
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's sort of nosebleed area at the moment, because, I mean, before the results of the week, like the Sunday games, we was fourth. And we was looking at it, was like, what happened? How do we get up to fourth, you know? And it was kind of nice. Like I was out having a few drinks and then just looked at the tables, like ended up having a few more drinks because I was celebrating I was fourth in the table for once. You know? So but yeah, no, I mean, to finish the end of the weekend being in fifth place, like brilliant. Like, we've got European game on Thursday, and we play Man United on Sunday, so be a nice test of two big games. Strasbourg aren't no one to kind of shy away from it at the moment this season, and Man United, you don't know who or what Man United's going to turn up. Luckily, we're at home, I think helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I mean, Wolves though, I mean, it's hard. I mean, they're bringing a new manager, and they all got like Robert's got like good clap at the end of the game from his fans, you know. So, and from like a lot of the plays they had, they did really well. They just couldn't. They didn't have that kind of the vital kind of moment, finishing touch that, you know, Palace end up having. They didn't like have one player that looked like they could probably do like the goal that Yerim Pino scored. Like absolute beautiful ball, like one touch pass from Wharton into Pino's feet and then banged it off the crossbar top corner. And from everywhere I've seen, all the highlights I saw as well, and it just sounds like Wolves just didn't have that killer instinct in front of the goal, which is what they're severely lacking at the moment. Yeah, and you know, the fact that, I mean, it took us 60, I think it's like 62nd minute till we got our first goal. It showed they can be resolute, like defence wise. I mean, we had a lot of opportunities. I mean, we talks that we could have got a penalty with Ismaila Sarr getting brought down and VAR checking it and say it was outside the box, but then you see all the still shots and it's clearly just inside the box or on the line of the 18-yard box, and you're thinking, how did they give that? But luckily we got the win from it. It didn't really matter. Like Mateta was through 1-on-1 and somehow blazed it wide. You know, there was a bit of luck for Wolves in that aspect of the game, but they still kept us at bay to the 60th minute till we scored. So fair play to them. I mean, like I said, the fans clapped him off at the end, so they're quite happy with the change in manager. And I think what they saw in that game and the chances they did have, it could be good for them, but they've got to pick up points soon. Like 2 points in 12 games now. Like they need to pick up something like soon. They've got to just get that win. I think get that win just to, you know, start to get them going, kickstart this season, and then hopefully they start climbing the table a bit. So like we said before, the Wolves are a good club and a big club, but they just need to, you know, start doing something in games and getting them results.
Next game was the evening kickoff on Saturday, which was Newcastle at home to Man City. I think I went 2-2 draw for this, and I think, Mark, you went for a Man City win.
3-0 win, yeah.
Yeah, so you had it quite easy for Man City. I think turned out to be quite an optimistic result. But Newcastle ended up finding a way to beat them, and Man City are back in that inconsistent stage again.
Yeah. And I think, like, I didn't realise this, like, because I remember you said in the last video about the predictions that Newcastle won at home under the lights, you said. I didn't realise, like, they've actually now won their last 6 in all competitions at home. Fair play to you, realising Newcastle under the lights was going to do something. But, like, that whole game, like, I watched it and it was basically, it was just, the whole game was just 3 goals in 10 minutes. Neither side didn't seem to want to score, it seemed, until that 3 goals in 10 minutes. And after that 3 goals, it was just Man City put on the pressure, didn't do nothing with it. It was a strange one, like, because at 1-1 when Man City brought it back, you'd think, oh, here we go. Like, Man City's woken up. And then 5 minutes later, or whatever it was, Harvey Barnes got that other goal. Controversial. People say it'd be a foul on Donnarumma and all that, but he needs to be stronger. You know, I think the size of Donnarumma, 6'4", whatever, is 6'6", and Harvey Barnes ain't exactly a big bloke, and he touched him a little bit, and he went down, falling over, because I think he knows as a goalkeeper, referees are quite happy to be like, oh, it's a foul. Keeper's clearly been fouled, even though it's a stupid rule that shouldn't even be part of the thing. They need to be stronger. They're the ones that can actually jump up with their hands and catch the ball.
The very beginning of the season, there were some questions about Newcastle. I think after 4 or 5 games, they were bottom half of the table. They were on 4 or 5 points, and there was questions about where the goals were going to come from after Isak had obviously left, and that situation that had happened. So it's good that some players are stepping up. Warmadi is playing well. You've got Ashley Barnes playing well in the absence. So yeah, I didn't necessarily think Newcastle were going to win, but that's only purely based on form this season.
Yeah.
But Man City seem to be in this very inconsistent stage where Haaland's scoring goals and they're all happy, and then they're winning, and then they're not winning, and they're just not winning because they can't score goals. Because if Haaland can't score goals, then nobody else seems to be wanting to score goals.
Yeah.
There's just a bit of an odd sort of form with Man City at the moment. I think it's quite difficult to call what the team will look like, which has always happened in previous seasons.
We've said this for years with Man City. You just never know what team they're going to put out.
I think it's even more now because they're struggling to find form. I mean, they were great against Liverpool, and they were, then they go and play Newcastle away. Those are the games that they need to really pick up results to continue the pressure on whoever's on first place, which is Arsenal at the moment. So hopefully, well, no, not hopefully. I really hope they don't get any better.
Of course.
But I think it's a great result for Newcastle. And especially with all the injuries they've got at the moment. Sunday's games: Leeds versus Aston Villa. I called this game right. I went 2-1 Aston Villa. I think you went with a draw. Was it 1-1?
1-1. Yeah.
So I kind of felt like at Ellen Road, Leeds would at least score a goal. But there's some, Aston Villa didn't start the season well. I've found a lot of very, very good form now. And Morgan Rogers is playing really well. His performance levels are very high. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to be dropping in performance per game. He's consistently performing.
That's what I was saying. It's taken it. He was a bit slow to start the season when it took him the first, 6 games to actually start getting going, really. And then, since then, like you said, he didn't call up. I think playing international football or being around the international scenes probably helped him since, the first call up, and then he's just grown from there, sort of thing. And I mean, the 2 goals scored, the second one, especially, that free kick, the keeper was rooted to the spot. He literally watched the goal go in. He couldn't move because it was that much kind of. It was a bit of a knuckleball kind of free kick, and it had a little swerve, bit of power and stuff, and just the keeper was just didn't even move. I mean, he must have thought he was going the opposite way or something, because I'm surprised he didn't even try to attempt to dive for it, because it wasn't top corner. It was not an easy one, but it was a savable free kick. But I think just the amount of power behind it, he just didn't have time to react to even dive for it, I think.
Leeds they need to find some home form, similar to Burnley. They're just going to struggle again otherwise. And, I know Sunderland are sort of like the outlier of the teams that have come up. But Leeds and Burnley are starting to show some familiar presence around the last couple of years around the teams that have come up from the Championship. And it's not nice to see, because it just nobody wanted a Super League, right? But this has just turned into a Super League. If 3 teams come up and the same 3 teams go down, I'm not saying that's going to happen. It's a long way to go, but then there's no variety in the Premier League then. And all the established teams, the teams that come up in certain times of, over the last decade have benefited from that, and these ones are not. And I hope Leeds start finding some form and start, challenging, and we're not looking at, the relegation and, still with 5-6 games to go. I'm not saying Leeds are going to be like that. I hope that's not the case. And, all right. And Arsenal Spurs was the 4:30 kickoff on Sunday. I went 3-1 for this, ended up being 4-1. Well done, Ezzy, for getting a hat-trick and ruining that prediction. Mark, you went 2-2, I think.
2-2 for this game, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Thomas Frank said...
I mean, result-wise for yourself, and great result. I mean, getting 4-1 in a derby game, against your bitter rivals, Spurs, it's quite a satisfying thing, isn't it, as a football fan, when you're beating your rivals, or it's a local derby, just even like a London derby sort of thing. It's always a nice result to get a big win against them, to almost, just rib them a little bit, if you know people, I mean, delighted for Eze to get a hat-trick, first Premier League hat-trick for him, and shame it wasn't for Palace beforehand, but he's gone to Arsenal, big price tag, massive price tag for, £60 million, and to get a hat-trick on your first North London derby. Nice, pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the game itself felt like a training match at times.
Is that a rib?
I mean...
Is that a rib to Tottenham fans?
It wasn't that. Well, Arsenal were in control of the whole game. There wasn't a point in time that Arsenal weren't in control.
Right.
The only time we wasn't in control was when Richarlison chipped the keeper from, 40 yards out.
Talking about it, that's happened a couple of times with Raya, because he likes to be in no man's land.
Well, it's happened a lot of times with Arsenal as well. Our keeper does like to get lobbed. But it was just at 3-0. Sorry, at 2-0. I felt like the crowd could have started singing Olays. It was
Wow.
Well, Tottenham really weren't doing much. It was just, they showed a bit more desire in the second half. But I think Richarlison's goal came about because we dilly-dallied on the ball, and I think Paulina tackled Zubimendi, I think. Wow. And then Richarlison just kicked it over the keeper. But I mean, Hincapié coming in was brilliant. Eze was absolutely brilliant, but I mean, from a Tottenham perspective, they just gave him so much room in the box. There wasn't touch to him or anything. It was absolutely bananas. They must have played against Eze before. Why they gave him so much room like that? But I mean, it was brilliant from Arsenal. Absolutely brilliant. We bossed the game. We controlled it. Thomas Frank said, apologised. I said that was one of the worst performances he's had, or something like that, or seen, or something like that. So the final game of the weekend was Man United-Everton. I don't think we predicted this one.
No, didn't. No.
Everton ended up winning 1-0, and Gay slapped Michael Keane. And David Moyes apparently likes that.
Yeah, he did. He said, I love some fighting my players, he said, which is fair enough, but not between each other, surely. You want it on the
physical
pitch.
Fight. Especially when you think that children are watching this football match, and I'm going to go into the school the next day and punch one of my teammates. Or
slap Michael Keane again.
Yeah.
It was a weird one, though, because I don't think the official videos are actually shown a clearer thing of what happened, because it just looked like a shove. And
I thought it was a
from
shove,
what we saw, the referee giving a red card. Yeah, I mean, the referee giving a red card for that, it was just a bit of a strange one.
Well, if he did raise his hand and slap him, which is what people think had happened on the images that we've seen, if you do that to an opponent, then you're going to get sent off.
Yeah, of course.
Because it falls under violent conduct. So if you do it to your own team, mate, unless it's in a, because I've seen people celebrate before, and they run up to their team and go, yeah, and then they might slap around the face or something like that, and go yeah, yeah. But they're not going to get sent off for that, are they? But in the context of how it happened, I mean, the ref just probably was like, I'm not having this. I'm going to send you off because you just basically slapped your own teammate.
I want to know what it was about as well, because
I think it was some sort of defensive I
Yeah,
think
there
Gay
was.
wasn't happy with like a defensive piece of play that the defense had done or something, but
Yeah.
or the fact that he had to cover for them or something. I don't know, but I mean,
The
it seemed
fact
to
he had to
work.
be walked off the pitch, yeah, like it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then they go and Dewsbury scores a really good goal, didn't he? And
Yeah, it was a nice goal. Yeah.
yeah, it's ended up being Everton win. I mean, Manchester United at home. Yeah, I don't really know what to say, to be honest with you.
Well, I saw that.
I thought I
Sorry.
thought they'd recover and get back to two. You know, I think I said something like 2-0 in my like something that we didn't really predict, but yeah. So I'm surprised by the result, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think being 10, like, for Manchester United's sake, going against 10 men at home, and you think to yourself, okay, we got a chance here. Being Man United, they shouldn't think, oh, we got a chance here. You should be like, we're guaranteed to win this now. And I think, like, obviously having Sesko out injured probably didn't help, but like to then lose 1-0 after being against 10 men, you just don't know what you're going to get from Manchester United. It's a strange one, really. Like losing 1-0 after being playing against 10 men, and you still couldn't come back against them. And I think I'm right in saying that's David Moyes' first win at Old Trafford as a
I think
opposition team manager. Like that's the crazy result against his former team as well. So he's absolutely loving it, probably, isn't he? Like, you know.
yeah. Yeah, I think you are right. It is his first win. I think afterwards he said, I've had many chances to do this, but going down to 10 with 11 players on the pitch. So the fact I don't know 10 men was remarkable or something. I can't remember, it was something like that. I mean, fair play to Everton. They, you know, what he's doing with the team is brilliant, and it's just an odd result from the perspective that. Yeah, it just did look like United didn't want to win the whole game. Just did look like I didn't want to win. It just looked like I wasn't bothered. Hey, if you like the video, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We're just getting going on this channel and we'd love to hear from you.